Hi, it's Jessie with Plan with Jessie, and I want to show you today how to make a little traveler's notebook folder. I made this one a few weeks ago, and surprisingly it's held up fairly well, given that it's just cardstock. I thought it was going to tear or, get frayed, but it's actually held up pretty well. This is an A6 size folder, but I will give you suggestions if you want to make other sizes as well, how you can do that. So the first thing you want to do is you want to think about what kind of paper you want. Now the reason why I chose this star paper was because it doesn't really have an orientation. It's not up or down, because when you make it, you're going to end up folding some of the paper up. And if you're using something like this, which is very pretty, when you fold it up to make your pocket, it's going to be upside down. Now, that might not bother you. If it doesn't bother you, then you can ignore this next tip I'm going to tell you. But if you don't want it to be upside down, you're going to want to choose a paper that's more non-directional, that can, flip any way and it's going to be fine. Like I said, that's why I picked the star one. The same thing with this. If you use this for your folder and fold it up, then the unicorn's going to be upside down. Again, maybe that won't bother you, then that's fine. Just do it like that. Personally, it bothers me a little bit, so I try to choose something that's a little more flexible in terms of directions. So I think for the next one I will use this rainbow print, which is pretty. So that way when I fold it up, it's still going to be rainbow. You're not going to have to worry about direction. I think I'll go ahead and do that one. If you didn't see my other video where I decorated my next bullet journal already, it's going to look like this. So I think having this folder in here will look really cute. Not in here, but in my notebook cover with this. So I think that'll go well with that. So let's get started. Let's make our folder. So this is how I do it. There are other ways to do it, but this is what I've found works best for me. So you flip the paper over, and then you take whatever size notebook you want the folder to be the size of. So if you're using a standard size traveler's notebook and you want to make a pocket folder, then just use this as your template, okay? But since I'm using an A6, I'm using this as my template. So what you want to think about is you don't want it to just cut this. This paper is not going to be big enough, is it? With that slice right there, I don't think this is going to be big enough. The paper is going to need to be bigger than you expect it to be, because you're going to need to do a lot of folding. So let me see if I have another page of that rainbow. There we go. So I'm just going to take the full page because I don't want to have to make it smaller than I want just to fit it on the paper. So you want to flip it over. Put about, what is that, like ½ an inch or so. Just kind of eyeball it. You don't really need to measure necessarily. Maybe a little bit more than ½ an inch. And you want to do that on either side. And then you also want to make sure that you have enough down here to fold up. And this one that I showed you, I just took it apart. And this one here, I made the pocket about 2½ inches to fold up, and that worked pretty well for me. So what I'm going to do is just measure down here 2½, and we'll make a pencil line. So then I know, wait, what did I just do? 2½ here. Why did I make that line? I guess that's just going to be the fold line. I don't know what I'm even thinking. Okay. And then ½ an inch on this side or so. So maybe like here. So I'm going to draw here. Okay, so now we need the top, but you don't need to worry about really anything extra on the top, so I'll just draw straight across. There. Okay. So yeah, so then we're gonna cut it out. Let me find my scissors. So ignore this. This isn't a cut line. This is just showing me where I'm gonna fold it. So let's just cut. So let's fold up on like my pencil line here best I can. Just to make sure you're folding it evenly across, just line up the edges as you fold. Okay, like that. And then you want to just go ahead and fold it in half like you're gonna for the folder, just to give yourself an idea of where the crease is gonna be. And if this is looking too wide, don't forget that we're gonna fold in the edges a little bit, so this is not the final look. And then you want to fold this back down and then fold the whole length of it in that 1/2 inch or so that you left room for. Again, line up the edge over here so that way as you put it down it's gonna be straight. Okay? And then you want to do that on both sides. Doing your best to have them be the same, but if it's not perfect, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so then fold this up. And then that's it. That's your folder. And all you need to do is glue the edges. And all I did was I just used a glue stick. Actually, you know what? I'm going to fold this up just a little bit higher. I didn't quite get where I wanted it on that line. I think I wanted just a little bit higher of a pocket. Luckily, this cardstock is fairly forgiving. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. Yeah. Okay. So now let's just glue it. Let me get the glue stick. So this is my daughter's glue stick. Works fine. So let's see, which did I do first? I think I do these edges first. I've only done this once before, so I'm trying to remember how exactly I did it. And if you're wondering why this is purple, it's because it's for a kid. So the idea is they can see where they put the glue, and then eventually the glue will, it dries clear. So, okay, so then fold this over like so. Oops, that came back up. Should we press it down nice and good? And I mean, if you want to use sort of more grown-up glue that you have, that's fine too. Anything that's good for gluing paper would work. You just want it to not come up. Alright, so just make sure that this is down best you can. And then the last step is you're going to fold this up and you're going to want to glue here and here and to stick it up here. So then that's glued, and just fold this up again. You need to press it down really well because this needs to not only stick together but hold this up. So just press it down nice. Okay. And then there's no divider between the two sections, but I've found that when you have the string in there in your traveler's notebook, that kind of acts as a divider so things don't slide left to right. Yeah, so that is it. That's my little folder. Let's put it in my... So let's stick it in my notebook. We'll use this cat one. Yeah, so if you want to do any kind of finishing touches, if you want to round the corners, you can do that. I've seen some people add a little bit of a slit up here, so this isn't pulling on here necessarily. This one I did round these corners up here, but you don't have to. It's all just really aesthetics. It's not going to make a difference in the functionality of the folder. It's really cute. So let me show you. You can add some stuff to it. Yeah. Or I mean, you can use it for whatever you want. It doesn't have to be stickers. I have some Post-its. Put that in there. You know, whatever you want to use a folder in your traveler's notebook for, this would work. And like I said, this is an A6 size, but if you use the technique I showed you where you measure around your own notebook, then you can use this method for any notebook. I'll make another video showing a different size if you want, if you're curious. You know, if you want to see someone actually make a standard size or a A5 size, I can do that at some point too. But just made this because this is the size I'm using right now. So yeah, so that's how you make an A6 size traveler's notebook folder. Thanks for watching. Bye.